And now, recorded live from a house in Rhode Island somewhere and uploaded to YouTube, which is now putting ads on people's videos whether they want to or not for some reason, it's the Death Battle Awards Season 5 edition! And now, here's your host, Wolf!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Death Battle Awards Season 5 edition. Before we begin, I'd like to formally apologize for the delay to the Death Battle Awards videos recently, despite saying I would get them out on the first of each month. Murphy's Law is a right pain when it comes to that. Anyway, let's get to the awards. For our first guest, please welcome Darth Leo!
It's difficult being a show as popular as Death Battle, even after 5 seasons. Because while you want people to enjoy every episode that you make, you're inevitably gonna have to make some mistakes that people will be less than happy to see. When an episode is good, it's great and is remembered fondly by fans. But when those fans turn salty, you'll remember it for years. Here are the nominees for Saltiest Episode.
Saltiest Episode: Black Panther vs. Batman, Ryu vs. Jin, Mario vs. Sonic 2018, Roshi vs. Jiraiya, Thanos vs. Darkseid, Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate, Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle, Nightwing vs. Daredevil, Optimus Prime vs. Gundam, Carnage vs. Lucy.
And the award for Saltiest Episode goes to Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Please welcome Red Runner!
Season 5 fulfilled a lot of dreams for a lot of people. When Death Battle wasn't making episodes people have been asking for years, they were including characters people love but don't necessarily know who they should fight. And when those characters are written well, it makes an episode go from good to great. So here are the nominees for Best Characterization.
Best Characterization: Thanos. Thanos vs. Darkseid.
I am Thanos. Thanos is supreme. Thanos is God.
Ultron. Ultron vs. Sigma.
Hello, everyone. I'll accept your unconditional surrender now.
Raven. Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
You saw nothing.
Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
Vile Decepticon, I have been in battle for countless eons.
Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai.
Huh, you jump good.
Thank you?
Pit.
Fire!
Sora vs. Pit.
Ha! I've seen candles that are scarier than you. Let's take this to the next level.
Sora.
Teleport?
Sora
Mind
vs.
blown.
Pit.
Let's see what you think of this.
Darkseid. Thanos vs. Darkseid.
Dare strike me. Pray for the sweet release of gas.
Sigma. Ultron vs. Sigma.
I'll tear out your circuits and bathe in your oil.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Hello? That's a mine.
Finders keepers, pal.
Whoa!
You asked for it, Tubby.
And the award for Best Characterization goes to... Samurai Jack.
Please welcome Nemesis Bloodreich.
The deaths that Death Battle provide can range from silly to heart-wrenching and everywhere in between. And while these deaths can be great, it's no secret that the most brutal deaths are the ones that stick in our memory the most. Brutality doesn't seem like a difficult thing to achieve in a show like Death Battle, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to do it right. And these deaths certainly show us some of the best ways. Here are the nominees for Most Brutal Death.
Most Brutal Death. Sigma. Ultron versus Sigma.
Oh, please. Everything belongs to me.
Afro Samurai. Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai. Thanos. Thanos versus Darkseid.
Is he looking at us?
Oh my god! It's Deadpool with a gun!
Behold, in endless death.
So you watching any anime?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Woohoo! I'm the winner!
Pit. Sora versus Pit.
Attaboy, Sora!
Jin Kazama. Ryu versus Jin.
I walk the path of the true warrior.
Jiraiya. Roshi versus Jiraiya.
What?
Crash Bandicoot and Aku Aku. Crash versus Spyro.
Nobody messes with me, pal.
Amuro Ray. Optimus Prime versus Gundam. Jotaro Kujo. Jotaro versus Kenshiro.
Shut it a bit!
And the award for Most Brutal Death goes to... Afro Samurai.
This is Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai, second award of the evening, having previously won Best Characterization.
Please welcome RJ!
Our next category might be one of the toughest to come up with nominees for. After all, Season 5 was the season where all but 2 of the matchups were apparently episodes that were highly requested. So it's weird trying to award Most Original Matchup to one of these episodes, but we certainly tried our best. Here are the nominees for the Most Original Matchup.
Most Original Matchup. Carnage vs. Lucy. Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle. Roshi vs. Jiraiya. Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. Black Panther vs. Batman. Ryu vs. Jin. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam. Mario vs. Sonic 2018. Ultron vs. Sigma. Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West.
And the award for Most Original Matchup goes to Carnage vs. Lucy.
Please welcome from Crypto Crossing, that's crossing spelled with an X by the way, Zenonaki!
Good evening everyone, my name is Zenonaki. A little bit ago I passed a pretty important subscriber milestone for my channel, so I've been putting together a very special production that features a lot of returning fan favorite characters, as well as others that I'm excited to use in the future. Speaking of, part of what hypes up a death battle isn't just the matchup the show is doing, but also bringing in combatants that people have wanted for years, even if they couldn't figure out an opponent for them. There were plenty of popular choices for this season, of course, but only one can win. Here are the nominees for Best Combatant.
Best Combatant. Nightwing. Ultron. Sonic the Hedgehog. Afro Samurai. Sigma. Thanos. Twilight Sparkle. Batman. Pit. Carnage. Master Roshi. Mario. Black Panther. Optimus Prime. Daredevil. Doctor Strange. Darkseid. Crash Bandicoot. Amuro Ray. Leon Kennedy. Spyro the Dragon. Kenshiro. Sora. Jin Kazama. Dr. Fate. Jiraiya. Jotaro Kujo. Lucy. Raven. Ryu. Samurai Jack. Frank West.
And the award for Best Combatant goes to Optimus Prime.
Please welcome, from the upcoming Halo fan series Lambda, Numbskill!
Continuing from our last category's topic of combatants of Death Battle, each one showed quite the impressive set of feats in Season 5, and while it would have been nice for all of them to really show how strong they are, that's kinda difficult when half of these combatants are set to lose. Fortunately, that's where this category comes into play. Here are the nominees for Strongest Loser.
Strongest Loser. Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Even with this unbelievable speed, Sonic has far more power hidden up his sleeves.
He doesn't wear a shirt.
He can achieve the form of Super Sonic by absorbing an enormous amount of positive energy from the 7 legendary Chaos Emeralds. In this mode, he can teleport large objects, survive planet-level explosions, launch energy attacks, and fly near the speed of light.
But guess what? This isn't even his final form.
After the Emeralds received a boost from the Master Emerald, Sonic could achieve his ultimate state of being, Hypersonic.
He's got all the abilities of Super Sonic, plus total invincibility, and a hyper flash that insta-kills everything around him. Oh, and he's definitely faster than light now.
Pit. Sora vs. Pit.
At one point when Thanatos attacked a village, he launched a large boulder which Pit obliterated so thoroughly it was completely pulverized in mid-air.
Wait a minute, how are those Trojan Horse Star Wars walkie thingies not tipping over?
Focus, Boomstick. Pulverization is defined as reducing an object to dust, which certainly applies here. To determine the force necessary to do so, we first need the size of that boulder. For that, we'll compare the boulder to those pillars.
Oh, here comes the math! Strap on your pocket protectors, nerds!
Thanatos, when standing near to Pit, appears to be about 11 feet 6 inches tall. By comparing his height to the pillars, we've determined them to be 18 feet tall. By comparing that to the boulder, it's clear it has a diameter of 115 inches. To pulverize a stone this large, Pit's strike must have outputted energy equal to nearly 1,600 pounds of TNT.
Damn! Little angel kid can dish it out!
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate.
Strange's astral form has traveled across the planet in, quote, precious seconds, putting him at several million miles per hour.
Even better, when Adam Warlock once used an Infinity Gem to banish Strange to the far reaches of the universe, Strange just cast a spell that zoomed him all the way back. So yeah, F you, Adam.
Given what we see here, Doctor Strange was most likely sent to a void, or a large empty area between galaxies. The void where our galaxy resides is about 2 billion light-years in diameter, with the Milky Way set relatively close to the center. Based on Strange's conversation here, we can assume a generously short time frame of 5 seconds. So, Strange must have moved over 4.2 septillion miles per hour. That's 6 quadrillion times the speed of light.
Damn!
Frank West. Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West.
He can even hop off zombies' heads like a ninja so well that the zombies barely even notice.
Wait, they don't notice that he's literally jumping off their heads? How the hell does he pull that off?
Very carefully. But Frank has fought more than just mindless zombies.
Yeah, like some crazy clowns with chainsaws and a freeze gun, and plenty of other psychomaniacs. This is my stuff! Including Lance Corporal Calder, the world's first intelligent soldier zombie.
Also, I think it's important to note many of these feats were performed in a span of 72 hours with no sleep or rest. According to a study on sleep deprivation in 2010, an average human's physical and mental health begins to severely deteriorate after 36 hours of no sleep, resulting in disorientation and even hallucinations.
Here I thought heavy drinking was the only way to legally hallucinate. Well, time to binge Netflix until I trip balls.
Whether by inhuman stamina or just a shit ton of adrenaline, Frank was in peak condition for twice as long as he should have been.
There's that journalist determination again.
Jotaro Kujo. Jotaro vs. Kenshiro.
Star Platinum is said to be faster than light.
Sure. Technically he can because he can stop time or whatever, but he can't really move that fast normally, right?
Well, maybe. Star Platinum has matched his speed with another stand called Silver Chariot. Silver Chariot previously defeated a different stand called Hanged Man.
Long story short, Hanged Man moves between reflections at light speed, and Silver Chariot caught him in mid-movement.
Granted, Silver Chariot had to use an elaborate plan to force Hanged Man into moving in a predictable direction. If Silver Chariot was truly faster than light, he wouldn't have needed to resort to such a plan. But the fact he caught Hanged Man at all is proof enough that he's at least close to light speed.
So that means Star Platinum is close to light speed too.
Jiraiya. Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
And through Fukasaku's teachings, Jiraiya perfected the art of Senjutsu. Through their combined efforts, he entered a new mighty form called Sage Mode.
Well, it takes a long time to get into. Sage Mode Jiraiya can do all sorts of things he couldn't before.
Like the unpredictable martial art Frog Kata, and a deadly genjutsu, the demonic illusion Toad Confrontation Chant.
Which sounds weird, so why don't we just call it your jutsu? Cause if you get caught, your soul is trapped by these big guys who desperately want a high five, leaving your physical body totally open to a swift kill.
Sage Mode also enhances Jiraiya's other abilities, turning his normal Rasengan into the unstoppable Big Ball Rasengan, which, according to the official databooks, is strong enough to carve away a mountain.
Sigma. Ultron versus Sigma.
And Sigma is powerful enough to take out Zero in a single hit.
Damn! But Sigma's also managed to damage X, who once channeled enough energy through his body to destroy all of Japan. Suck it, Godzilla!
And many of Sigma's bodies could tank attacks from both X and Zero without much issue. That's impressive, considering X fought the General, whose body was tough enough to block a laser capable of destroying the Earth. The minimum amount of energy necessary to destroy a planet is known as its gravitational binding energy, which in the case of Earth is equivalent to a little over 63 sextillion tons of TNT.
That's 22 zeros! The number, not the robot. Plus, he's fast enough to keep up with Zero, the actual robot, not the number, who dodged Optic Sunflower's beam of sunlight.
RX-78-2 Gundam. Optimus Prime versus Gundam.
Speaking of speed, the Gundam is comparable to the Red Zaku piloted by Amro's rival Char, which is 3 times faster than the standard green model.
During the first large-scale battle with mobile suits, a Zaku flew through the battlefield in 7 seconds.
By comparing the 1,072-foot-long Magellan-class starships in the distance, we can tell the Zaku flew over 7 miles. This puts the standard Zaku's top speed just under Mach 5. When tripled to compare to Char, this means the Gundam can move at least 11,000 miles per hour, 15 times the speed of sound. Highballing it with Amro's new type powers and magnetic coating, it's possible the Gundam can move as fast as Mach 25.
Jin Kazama. Ryu versus Jin.
The Devil Gene traces back not to Heihachi, but to Jin's grandmother,
who freaking rides tigers.
As a result, Heihachi's son Kazuya inherited the Devil Gene and passed it on to Jin.
Kazuya's powers are basically the same as Jin's, and he's shown just how far the devil form can go. He shot a blast powerful enough to erupt a volcano, and survived a satellite laser straight out of Independence Day.
This is the same laser that once shot the robotic soldier Gunjack. By measuring the blast radius and resulting devastation, the laser's firepower appears to equal 3.7 megatons of TNT.
You know the bomb that got dropped on Nagasaki in World War the sequel? Yeah, this laser's like 176 of those, hitting all at once.
Thanos. Thanos versus Darkseid.
All of this potential makes Thanos an incredibly dangerous foe.
Yeah, good luck trying to hurt him. He can survive pretty much anything, including a gun specifically designed to kill him. He even shot himself in the face with it just to prove how goddamn awesome he is. Don't try that at home, kids.
He's strong enough to overpower 2 Thors at once, snap a universal weapon known for its extreme durability, and even lift the gargantuan Galactus engine.
A giant super rocket big enough to move planets. According to Mr. Fantastic, and that guy knows his stuff, this thing is hundreds of miles long.
While the Galactus engine's size seems to vary from comic to comic, Reed's assertion matches its appearance when it propelled Ego the Living Planet. By examining the engine in 3 separate parts, applying the density of steel, and comparing Ego's diameter of 4,165 miles, we've found that Thanos must be lifting about 50 quintillion tons. That's like holding up 140 trillion Empire State Buildings.
And he's doing this inside the gut of a living Kurt Russell planet that eats other planets and even stars. Man, I thought I had an iron stomach.
And the award for Strongest Loser goes to... Thanos.
Please welcome from Swamp, Alan Peterson.
It's always great whenever a show hits its 5th season, even if it's a rather arbitrary number. 5 seasons worth of content that people like is actually a lot more difficult to make than it seems. And to celebrate their 5th season, Death Battle did something special by making nearly every episode be a fight that was highly requested in their show's history. A concept they'll be doing a similar version of next year to celebrate the show's 10th anniversary. But for now, we're going to focus on Season 5 and all the hype it produced. Here are the nominees for Most Hyped Matchup.
Most Hyped Matchup: Mario vs. Sonic 2018, Crash vs. Spyro, Thanos vs. Darkseid, Ryu vs. Jin, Ultron vs. Sigma, Nightwing vs. Daredevil, Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate, Jotaro vs. Kenshiro, Sora vs. Pit, Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai.
And the award for Most Hyped Matchup goes to... Thanos vs. Darkseid!
This is Thanos vs. Darkseid's second award of the evening, having previously won Strongest Loser.
Please welcome Shiriku Cats!
Fight scenes are quite an obvious part of Death Battle. For some, they're the most important part. But one thing that makes the fights turn out great is just seeing how well the characters use their environment. Because it's one thing if the fight takes place in a sterile room with nothing to interact. But it's another thing to have the fighters battle in an environment that shows how well they can do, or what they can do. Be it something as small as an auto body shop to being as big as the multiverse itself. Speaking of which, here are the nominees for Best Use of Setting.
Best Use of Setting: Ultron vs. Sigma, Thanos vs. Darkseid,
planets and the slaves better give me respect. I bring spirits to death battles, legal mega effect. Settle your debt. I took lies to get to the throne. I never regret. Heads roll when I step in. Give me your neck.
Ryu vs. Jin, Sora vs. Pit, Black Panther vs. Batman,
Caught you!
vs. Sonic 2018.
Let's go.
Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West. Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
Summoning Jutsu! Jiraiya, you buffoon! What's this about?
Hey there! Can you buy me some time?
What? I'm not your servant. I'm the chief Get off my lawn!
Nightwing vs. Daredevil. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
Only one shot left.
And the award for best use of setting goes to Thanos vs. Darkseid.
This is Thanos vs. Darkseid's third award of the evening, having previously won Strongest Loser and Most Hyped Matchup.
Please welcome Biff Weed.
No matter how you feel about Death Battle, you have to admit that they do great work trying to find new and amazing ways to kill some of our favourite characters. Even after 5 seasons, even after 10 years, it's amazing they come up with fresh ways to have a death in every episode that doesn't feel too familiar to any that we've seen before. There were plenty of great nominees for Season 5, but only one can stand out. Here are the nominees for Best Death.
Best Death. Amuro Ray, Optimus Prime vs. Gundam. Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
The winner!
Afro Samurai, Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. Jotaro Kujo. Jotaro versus Kenshiro.
死んでいる Shut it a bit!
Carnage. Carnage versus Lucy.
Hurt yet? Don't worry. I'll put you out of your misery.
I hate
Sigma. Ultron versus Sigma.
Oh, please. What's this? Everything belongs to me.
Thanos. Thanos versus Darkseid.
Is he looking at us?
Oh my god, it's Deadpool with a gun!
Behold, in endless death.
So you watching any anime?
Frank West. Leon Kennedy versus Frank West.
Game over.
Crash Bandicoot and Aku Aku. Crash versus Spyro.
Nobody messes with me, pal.
Batman. Black Panther versus Batman.
The strong shall hunt the weak. That is the law of nature. And my rule is law.
And the award for Best Death goes to Afro Samurai.
This is Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai's third award of the evening, having previously won Best Characterization and Most Brutal Death.
Please welcome Strange Fate.
Honest question, who doesn't love a good fight scene? Whether it be a TV show, a movie, video games, or, yes, even a very specifically titled web show that pits two fictional characters against each other in a fight to the death to see who wins, we all love a good animated fight scene. I mean, what, are you watching Death Battle to see how many Earth's Superman can deadlift or Astro Boy's butt guns? No. I mean, maybe, but I'm not judging. We've mentioned that death is important in Death Battle, but battle is also part of the title and is so important, in fact, that they even decided to do a live-action fight this season. Which is why we had to change the name of the title to Best Fight Presentation instead of Best Animation, but whatever. With that aside, here are the nominees for Best Fight Presentation.
Best Fight Presentation. Thanos versus Darkseid. Doctor Strange versus Dr. Fate. Nightwing versus Daredevil. Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
There you are!
Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Oh, give me a break! Now I'll show you!
Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
The heck is this?
You're stuck now, Baldy.
Woo!
Ultron vs. Sigma.
Seconds and bathe in your oil. Prepare to be extinguished.
What gall. Lucky for me, I'm my own best backup.
You're mine!
Crash vs. Spyro.
All right. You asked for it!
Carnage vs. Lucy.
Die.
Not yet.
And the award for the best fight presentation goes to Thanos vs. Darkseid.
This is Thanos vs. Darkseid's fourth award of the evening, having previously won Strongest Loser, Most Hyped Matchup, and Best Use of Setting.
Please welcome Granbull.
While Season 5 had freaking hype throughout the season, it's always good to make sure the research for these hyped episodes is still important, even if plenty of episodes were a lot less close than what the show tried to make them seem like. Still, as long as the research is accurate, how close it is doesn't always matter. How close were these nominations for the Best Research Episode? Let's find out. Here are your nominees for Best Research Episode.
Best Researched Episode: Ultron vs. Sigma.
Even with all that, it really didn't matter who could punch harder or move faster, because the real fight was between the Ultron AI and the Sigma virus.
Right, and while infection and possession was kind of the Sigma virus's thing, Ultron's AI was far more advanced. Recall how he enslaved an entire techno-organic race, to the point where he used them to conquer an empire spanning a whole satellite galaxy.
Yeah, the Phalanx are like Marvel's version of the Borg. Hell, that means Ultron basically Sigma'd a whole race of Sigmas.
Thanos vs. Darkseid.
Thanos was an incredible foe, especially while wielding the Infinity Gauntlet. Unfortunately, the gauntlet had a fatal flaw.
Yeah, that golden glove only works in its own universe, and Darkseid could easily move the fight to new ones with his boomstick tubes. Universe hopping is kind of his thing.
The Reed Richards of the Interdimensional Council of Reeds figured this out. Its 3 founding members, Reed, Reed, and Reed, each possessed Infinity Gauntlets, but discovered that they couldn't work outside of their own universes.
Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
But what about Chaos Control? Couldn't Sonic just stop time and take care of things while...
It's heavily implied he knows how to, but Sonic has never actually used the time stop ability in canon. Even then, Mario's stopwatch does the same thing, putting them on equal footing.
Ah, don't do that! Where's my wallet?
Carnage vs. Lucy.
And once, she actually saved herself from a bullet after she had already been shot. As in, while the bullet was traveling between her skin and her heart.
It looks like she's getting shot by an MP5, which fires bullets at nearly 900 miles per hour.
With her body type, the distance between Lucy's skin and heart is less than an inch, probably around 2.4 centimeters. Given the bullet speed and the distance her vector would have to reach from her back before the bullet hit her heart, her vector had to move nearly 1,900 miles per hour. That's over twice the speed of sound.
Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
Remember that refinery explosion Optimus survived? The one you could see from outer space?
This blast left an enormous gash on the planet Cybertron. To measure the power of this explosion, we needed to compare it to the curve of the planet. Now, Cybertron's size is pretty inconsistent throughout G1 Transformers history, but even when using the alternating sizes between the cartoon and the comics, the blast is far more destructive than the beam rifle in both cases.
And Optimus just walked right out of that bitch. And this isn't some weird outlier just out of the comics either. In the cartoon, Megatron survived a blast that pushed Cybertron out of orbit, and he's pretty comparable to Optimus.
Jotaro vs. Kenshiro.
One of Star Platinum's greatest strength feats involves breaking and throwing a small section of a building. In comparison, Kenshiro broke an entire building, let it fall on him, and acted like it wasn't even there.
Also, while Jotaro may be skilled in deducing his enemy's weaknesses and strategies in mid-fight, Kenshiro's skills, durability, and straightforward approach meant there really wasn't anything for him to pick apart here.
Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
Raven's soul self could fly at speeds exceeding Mach 36. Since it's often been used as a battering ram to hit enemies, we know it has mass, but not exactly how much. However, given its size, strength, and durability far exceeds Raven's own, its mass is likely greater than hers.
Let's just lowball it and say they're equal, alright?
Sure. Adding Raven's mass to the Mach 36 calculation, the Soul Self's ramming force at top speed comes to 15 million newtons of force, far greater than what Twilight's shield has sustained.
Sora vs. Pit.
Hey, remember that building Sora cut through? Slicing it up like Swiss cheese was impressive enough, but this building was completely made of stone from top to bottom, and Sora cut through 7 at once!
These buildings may have been composed of a modest stone like granite, which has a minimum shearing strength of 14 megapascals. In comparison to Sora's height, each building was about 23 feet tall. By measuring Sora's largest slash and the distance cut through all 7 buildings, we can determine Sora's striking energy to equal, at minimum, 78 tons of TNT.
That's way more than Pit's boulder pulverizing feat.
Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate.
Remember how Strange cast a spell which moved him 6 quadrillion times the speed of light?
Yep! Now remember how Fate's helmet flew from Earth to the edge of the universe and back?
It took about 1 year to make this trip. Given the estimated scope of the observable and unknown universe, a trip of this magnitude would require the helm to fly nearly 28 decillion times the speed of light. That's over 4 quintillion times faster than Strange.
Crash vs. Spyro.
Ether is an extremely powerful element which binds the fates of the living and the dead. With Ether, Spyro pulls from the 4 elements to create energy which, according to Poland, has power comparable to that of an atom smasher.
Isn't that the thing that shoots an atom around at light speed for all sorts of sciencey stuff?
Yes, they're particle accelerators with a moving photon beam containing 362 megajoules of energy.
Yeah, I said that.
And the award for Best Research Episode goes to Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
This is Mario vs. Sonic 2018's second award of the evening, having previously won Saltiest Episode.
Please welcome Soulfire!
When you go through 5 seasons of a show where you pit characters against each other, you're naturally going to have some much stronger than others. Season 5 had plenty of strong characters that won, and some that lost too. But of course, only one character is going to be able to win each category. We've already done Strongest Loser, so now we get to look at the other one. Here are the nominees for Strongest Winner.
Strongest Winner. Ultron. Ultron vs. Sigma.
But Ultron can withstand hits from Thor and his hammer, and we all know how awesome that thing is.
When Thor fought Gore the God Butcher, their battle created shockwaves powerful enough to shatter planets thousands of miles away. This could only be possible with a force equivalent to 682 septillion tons of TNT, over 10,000 times stronger than anything Sigma could survive.
And not only has Ultron frequently smacked Thor around like a toddler, Thor has had a really hard time trying to damage Ultron's adamantium armor.
Mario. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Since this presentation makes the castle's size difficult to determine, we measured the entire interior based on maps from the game. By scaling these measurements to the castle's smaller avatar, and conservatively assuming a limestone composition, we've determined the castle must weigh more than 61 million tons.
And he just kicked it away like it was a frickin' soccer ball!
Given the distance it was kicked, Mario must have exerted a force of around 3.5 megatons of TNT. Do you realize what this means? Mario's foot is 231 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that dropped on Hiroshima.
Now seems like a good time for a beer. Or 12.
Honestly, Mario's absurd strength shouldn't be as surprising as you'd think. While he's fairly naive and not much of a strategist, he's saved the Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser's clawed grip time and time again. And the Koopa King is tough enough to survive a dip in the sun, or even a black hole.
Kenshiro. Jotaro vs. Kenshiro.
He smashed the bones of a giant with a single hand, broke a metal table just by standing up, and hit a tank so hard it blew up.
He's even strong enough to break a skyscraper in half.
And then when it collapsed on top of him, he just walked through it. What a boss.
Just the concrete in one floor of an average-sized skyscraper can weigh over 1,000 tons.
You think that's tough? Kenshiro can stand in lava. Lava! You know how hot lava is?
Up to 2,000.
Yeah, really freaking hot, that's what. And remember that tank? Before he blew it up, it shot him square on. It did absolutely nothing to him.
Darkseid. Thanos vs. Darkseid.
He's so quick, he can choke out Superman before he even sees him move, or knock him out cold in just a few bitch slaps. And Superman can survive supernovas to the face. Also, since Darkseid wasn't affected by the Crisis Mega Reboot, it's still canon that he can blitz pre-Crisis soups who can sneeze solar systems away.
Darkseid is strong enough to crush a lantern ring with ease, destroy planets with his Omega Beams, and wipe out the Justice League with a single strike.
Dr. Fate. Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate.
Fate has regenerated his body from a single thought, withstood hits from the likes of Superman and Ultraman, and somehow survived in a dimension of reality where literally nothing exists.
Who the hell is writing this crap?
Also, when DC decided to reboot their entire comic line, Fate was one of the only characters to survive the crisis that literally collapsed the multiverse.
Lucy. Carnage versus Lucy.
Her vectors are also tough enough to block a missile from the Air Force. While the exact model of missile is unspecified, it is fairly large and likely an air-to-surface type.
I bet it's one of the Air Force's SLAMs, or Standoff Land Attack Missile, built off the back of the Navy's Harpoon missile. In fact, a Harpoon is used against a different Diclonius at one point. So this beast slammed into her vector at 500 miles per hour with a 1,000-pound explosive yield, and it didn't even phase her. Even without a vector shield, she survived a pretty nasty explosion herself, though it did knock her out.
Impressive, but how about the time she punched through an island? A strike literally compared to nuclear fusion. This kicked up a 100-foot tidal wave and a 9.2 magnitude earthquake. A level so high there's only been 4 comparable quakes ever recorded.
Her vectors can be as wide as buildings and reach into outer space.
Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime versus Gundam.
He's tossed a satellite into orbit and punched hard enough to crack Six-Shot's chest plate.
Who boasted that his armor was drawn from the compacted subatomic matter of a collapsed star. Just to let you know, such a star would have a density of over 300 billion tons per cubic inch. While great density doesn't necessarily beget great toughness, this still means Six-Shot's armor was 500 billion times more dense than osmium, the most dense natural material on Earth.
You're the most dense natural material on Earth.
What'd you say?
And our Robo-Commander wrecked it.
Sora. Sora versus Pit.
He's speedy enough to run up a building and quick enough to dodge magic lightning.
Not just magic lightning, real legitimate lightning from the sky, a feat which could only take mere milliseconds.
Sora put all that speed to good use once by perfectly blocking hundreds of lasers from damn near every angle in just a few seconds. So it's safe to say he's no slouch.
As for his strength, not only has he cut through giant building-like structures with ease, he's launched them as projectiles. Though gravity is in flux here, a building this size normally weighs around 100,000 pounds.
He's held back 2 of Cerberus's heads and went toe-to-toe with Hercules. You know, the demigod who threw a giant rock monster into space?
Although this Titan's shape is too inconsistent to scale, by treating him as a series of cones made of granite, we can estimate his weight as over 1,600 tons.
That's like throwing 200 T-Rexes into the sky. So yeah, Herc is really, really strong, and Sora can take a hit from him, no problem.
Honestly, Sora's ability to take a hit might be one of his strongest characteristics. He's survived the jaws of Cerberus, ancient Chinese dragons, being shot by a musket, and, hell, the fires of Hades.
Spyro the Dragon. Crash versus Spyro.
He's pushed a gold statue about twice his size, and he's pretty tough, claiming his scales are impenetrable.
So I'm electricity-proof too? I knew my scales were impenetrable, but now this?
A bold claim, but let's look at the facts. Spyro once took a punch from this massive magma golem, which then lost its arm and replaced it with a cathedral tower. This cathedral is very similar in size to St. Stephen's Basilica, a Roman Catholic church in Budapest, Hungary. By taking the height, length, and depth of the basilica and adjusting for empty space, we can estimate the arm's mass to weigh over 400,000 tons. Assuming a low-end punching speed of 15 miles per hour, that of the average humans, the golem must have hit with at least 1.9 million tons of force.
And after getting all these powers, saving the dragons, and defeating the Dark Master himself, Spyro tapped into ether one last time to literally pull the exploding planet back together. What? How the hell? How?
Ryu. Ryu versus Jin.
As for Ryu, we knew exactly who we had to scale him to. Let's talk about Akuma.
First off, just to prove this scaling is reasonable, Ryu and Akuma share very similar abilities. Both were trained in the Otsutsuken fighting style, and both possessed the Satsui no Hado. They fought each other several times, and when the story was all said and done, Ryu emerged ultimately victorious based on his skill alone.
Now that that's out of the way, let's watch Akuma punch an island to death.
With a single strike, Akuma managed to break apart an entire island so thoroughly that Ryu, who was on the island, was left floating helplessly in nearly clear water. Assuming the island is somewhat circular, we've estimated the volume and deduced that in order to fragment the island like this, Akuma's punch must have been over 400 megatons of TNT.
And the award for the strongest winner goes to Darkseid.
This is Thanos vs. Darkseid's 5th award of the evening, having previously won Strongest Loser, Most Hyped Matchup, Best Use of Setting, and Best Fight Presentation.
Please welcome, from the Pyromancers, Bella!
Thank you! It's really great to be here for the 4th time! Even I had to just finish playing Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory in order to do so! Speaking of our next topic is Best Song, and this is the first season where all the nominees were made exclusively for Death Battle, thanks to the work of both Brendan Yates and Werewolf Theirwolf. There were a ton of great songs to be featured in this season. Here are the nominees for Best Song.
Best Song: Infection Perfection by Brandon Yates, Ultron vs. Sigma.
No bones, we need no skins, just a polished exoskeleton. Every game that I'm in, I win. All your best efforts are an imitation.
Chorus of Carnage by Brendan Yates, Carnage vs. Lucy. Retro Rivals by Werewolf Theirwolf, Mario vs. Sonic 2018. Turtle and Toad by Werewolf Theirwolf, Roshi vs. Jiraiya. A Strange Fate by Brandon Yates, Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate. Titans of Magic by Werewolf Theirwolf, Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle. Kings of Infinity by Brandon Yates featuring Omega Sparks. Thanos vs. Darkseid.
Battle for the universe, let's get striking. Feel the power and the force of the mightiest fighting. Energy blast, hit fast, top beams like lightning. Who can win a new god or the hands of a titan? I'm the king. I'm the king. Yeah, hard and pride crash like when stars collide. Feel it all inside, I'm ready for your soul's demise. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king.
Bizarre Stars by Werewolf Werewolf. Jotaro vs. Kenshiro. Crash and Burn by Brandon Yates. Crash vs. Spyro. Wings of Iron by Werewolf Werewolf. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
This is Optimus Prime vs. Gundam's second award of the evening, having previously won Best Combatant.
Please welcome from Swamp, Mortez Morizer!
Hello YouTube, Marquez Morizer here. Setup. Punchline. Quota fulfilled. When it comes to Wiz and Boomstick actually doing their jobs on Death Battle, Season 5 marks a bit of a milestone, shall we say. It was no longer footage, still images, and descriptive text. Now it was footage, still images, descriptive text, and Wiz and Boomstick themselves. Now we got to see them in action, just like partway through this description. Da-da-da-da! You now get to see a picture of what I look like. That or a picture of Bad Box Art Mega Man. I can't tell you which because I'm not editing this. Here are the nominees for Best Host Script and Recap.
Best Host Script and Recap. Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
But this would never have been possible without his training under the dynamic Toad Sage and legendary Sannin, Jiraiya the Gallant.
Gallant, huh? Hey Wiz, why do the most badass old dudes always turn out to be weird pervs?
Well, don't let his crude demeanor fool you.
Oh, don't worry about me, Wiz. This ain't my first trip to Secret Leaf Ninja Town. Nothing surprises me anymore. What the
Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai.
And now he can take down the guy who killed his dad.
Alongside his new friend / burden, Ninja.
Oh, come the f*** on! Where'd this guy come from?
Now don't we look like shit? How you been, man?
Well, it's not entirely clear. He's there, but at the same time, not there. Ninja is believed to be the guardian of the number 2 headband, but all he ever really does is talk, and talk some more.
He got arrows and grenades and shit! You ain't got no chance, dude!
Though it's also possible Ninja is simply a figment of Afro's mind, brought about by psychological stress.
You know, I have an imaginary friend.
Aren't you a little old for that?
Not for Al Gundy. He's a gun who also talks to me. He tells me to do stuff.
Okay.
Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
That's insane! The fastest man-made object in real life was the New Horizons space probe, which took off at more than 36,000 miles per hour.
It took 9 years for this probe to reach Pluto, but with Sonic's speed, he could make this same trip to Pluto in less than 24 hours.
While we're tracking speed, I've always wondered how fast I can chug a beer. Start the clock, Wiz!
Are you gonna start?
I'm already done.
Moving on.
Optimus Prime vs. Gundam.
Yeah, his spark's pretty rare. Compared to other robo people, it gives him increased strength, speed, and durability. He can shoot laser beams from his hands, fly with either a jetpack or his feet boosters, and move his limbs around while they're detached like some sort of ghost robot Rayman. Ooh!
Optimus is referred to as a 0.1%er. That is how rare a being of his caliber is.
Is that what all those people on Wall Street were protesting?
Even then, many of Optimus's abilities are further enhanced thanks to his possession of one of the most powerful artifacts in Cybertron's history, the Matrix of Leadership.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's nothing much. It's just a piece of robot god!
Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
After Tyrek absorbed the magic from Equestria's entire population, Twilight was forced to confront him herself while wielding the power of 4 alicorns.
When did it become Dragon Ball Z with baby girl horse toys? Anyway, check out how Tyrek rocketed Twilight straight into this mountain, and she was totally fine thanks to her magic shield.
By comparing Twilight's apparent size just before impact to her actual size of approximately 4 feet tall, we can estimate the distance she was thrown to be about 145 feet. Tyrek then closed this distance at 64.5 miles per hour. Combined with his estimated weight of over 31,000 pounds, Twilight's shield had to stand up to over 8 million newtons of force.
You know what? Forget it. I'm on board with this pony stuff.
Sora vs. Pit.
With all these abilities, Sora battled the Heartless and took the fight to the man who discovered them, Xehanort. He even defeated Xehanort's Heartless and his nobody.
Oh, that's kinda harsh, Wiz. Why are you calling him a nobody? He's definitely somebody.
No, see, a nobody is a somebody without a heart. But a Heartless isn't a somebody or a nobody, though they may have been a somebody filled with anger. Like Scar from The Lion King.
Well, I'm a somebody that's really confused.
Carnage vs. Lucy.
Cletus Cassidy didn't have the chance to be a well-adjusted adult, because his entire family was already crazy. While Cletus was just a boy, his father got sent to jail for killing his mother.
Which he did because she had tried to kill Cletus.
Which she did because Cletus had tortured and killed her dog Fifi.
Well, go Miss Cassidy! All dog murderers deserve death, even if they're 8. Right, Jack Spaniels? Good boy! Oh, and Cletus murdered his grandma too, cause she was kind of a bitch.
Doctor Strange vs. Dr. Fate.
While Nabu normally cares little about the universally inconsequential concerns of individual humans, this time was different. Nabu took the newly orphaned Kent under his wing and taught him the ways of magic.
Oh, sweet! I'd take a goddad over an ordinary one any day. But really, I'd just take any dad.
Though Nabu wasn't too keen on the actual parenting part of the deal, so he just magicked Kent into a full-grown adult over the course of a week.
Does that mean he got hit with all those years of awkward puberty all at once? My god, talk about a mood swing.
Thanos vs. Darkseid.
With so many impressive showings, it's hard to truly find a weakness.
Except for one!
Oh, god damn it!
Thank you. glad to be here. It's me, Deadpool, slayer of Deathstrokes, befriender of ponies, and breaker of mad titan hearts. I'm like Casanova, the ravenous reaper can't get enough of me, and Thanos just hates that. Ooh.
Well, Thanos did curse him so he couldn't die and be with her.
I know, right? He's a big purple crybaby. Have you seen that chin, though? It's like he got hit in the face with a slap chop.
Don't you have like a party in Ponytown to be at?
Come on, buddy. You can't have a death battle season without Deadpool, right?
We did. The last one.
Nobody counts that one. I mean, that's the year you pit a dog in a trench coat against a goddamn bear. What did you think would happen?
Yeah.
Whatever. I know when I'm not wanted. See you next year. DP out.
Oh, good riddance.
Ultron versus Sigma.
He possesses super strength and super speed, and he can manipulate ionic energy. An ion is an atom or molecule with an electric charge, and this charge is created when it loses or gains one or more electrons.
Enough nerd speak, Wiz. It's just there because all robo people need to shoot awesome robo lasers, right?
Absolutely.
And the award for... Would you put my picture back the way it was? Thank you. And the award for Best Host Script and Recap goes to... Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
This is Mario vs. Sonic 2018's third award of the evening, having previously won Saltiest Episode and Best Researched Episode.
Please welcome Arklad!
Hey, thanks once again for having me back on. Now, before I go ahead and announce the nominees for this next award, I'd like to take a second and give a personal shout out to Wolf, not just for having me on the show, but for such a great job he's doing. I think he deserves a round of applause. Now then, it's great when Death Battle does things accurately and makes the episodes enjoyable. But sometimes too much predictability can make a show look rather stale. With how many episodes there are always plenty of surprises the show unleashes to keep us on our toes. Whether a surprise is good or bad, it always keeps our attention when they break out something we didn't see coming, especially when the surprise is in who wins. So here are the nominees for Most Surprising Outcome.
Most Surprising Outcome. Ryu vs. Jin.
Well, gin up, everybody. Ryu's taking care of business.
The winner is Ryu.
Thanos vs. Darkseid.
Thanos just couldn't
run the gauntlet.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
The winner is Darkseid.
Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
He got Mario'd.
After 100 episodes, you still can't think of a good pun?
No, but now they can see me do this. Check it out, Wiz.
The winner is Mario.
Nightwing vs. Daredevil.
All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner is Nightwing.
Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
Yep, Raven really ponied up for this one.
The winner is Raven.
Black Panther vs. Batman.
In the end, Bruce just waned in comparison to T'Challa.
The winner is Black Panther.
Carnage vs. Lucy.
She dealt the carnage needed for a total victory and took the lead. There, I said it right, Wiz. Happy?
The winner is Lucy.
Crash vs. Spyro.
I guess Crash just couldn't spin this one.
The winner is Spyro the Dragon.
Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
And that's why Jiraiya croaked when Roshi beat him to the punch.
The winner is Master Roshi.
Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West.
He was frankly on his game.
The winner is Leon Kennedy.
And the award for Most Surprising Outcome goes to Carnage vs. Lucy. Surprising indeed.
This is Carnage vs. Lucy's second award of the evening, having previously won Most Original Matchup.
Please welcome from the upcoming Gmod series Red, Mr. the Shadow One!
Some deaths in Death Battle are memorable because of just how brutal they are, others because of how cool they look, and some are memorable because we just get infuriated when the person who died should have been the one to win. But when a death on the show tugs at our heartstrings and makes us sad, well, that could be just as memorable. Here are the nominees for Saddest Death.
Saddest Death. Crash Bandicoot and Aku Aku. Crash vs. Spyro.
Nobody messes with me, pal.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Woohoo! I'm the winner!
Jiraiya. Roshi vs. Jiraiya. Daredevil. Nightwing vs. Daredevil.
See you in hell.
Pit. Sora vs. Pit.
Attaboy, Sora!
Afro Samurai. Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai.
Watch out! Gotta get back to the past samurai. Watch out!
Amuro Ray. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam. Sigma. Ultron vs. Sigma.
Oh, please. Everything belongs to me.
Jotaro Kujo. Jotaro vs. Kenshiro.
Son of a bitch!
Frank West. Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West.
Game over.
And the award for Saddest Death goes to Hit from Kid Icarus.
Please welcome from Swamp and the voice of Proto Man from Wolf Presents a Mega Man Series Retrospective, Philip Scrignoli!
Season 5 had a very special lineup of matches, as almost every episode were some of the most requested fights in the show's history. In lieu of this, Death Battle went out of their way to get great performances from their voice actors, especially the two live-action roles portrayed. It was fantastic to see the Death Battle cast have the characters we know and love brought to life because of this effort. So without further ado, here are the nominees for Best Performance.
Best Performance. Edward Bosco as Spyro the Dragon. Crash vs. Spyro.
Woohoo! Strike!
Where do you keep finding these things?
Nicholas Andrew Louis as Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario vs. Sonic 2018.
Oh, give me a break. Now I'll show you.
Christopher Guerrero as Carnage. Carnage vs. Lucy.
It's raining, you're bleeding. Carnage is starving.
Tara Buckland as Raven. Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
Want it. I need it. It's mine. All mine.
Aha! Now I've got you right where I want you.
Tara Buckland as Twilight Sparkle. Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle.
Transdimensional teleportation? Let's give it a try.
You saw nothing.
Patrick Rodriguez as Roshi. Roshi vs. Jiraiya.
Hey, fuzz for brains. Where are the pictures? It's just words in here.
Pictures? You fool! Words paint 1,000 beautiful pictures all by themselves!
Please, don't take it personally. Not like you wrote the damn thing.
Devontae Jackson as
Your
Afro
sword smells
Samurai.
of blood.
Samurai Jack vs.
Sword
Afro
is yours.
Samurai. Danny Shepard as Nightwing. Nightwing vs. Daredevil.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness. But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over and I'll get out of your horns. Is that a no then?
Justice Washington as Thanos. Thanos vs. Darkseid.
These games bore me, but this will bring a smile to my face.
It'll have to wait.
Coward! Who are you? Who are you?
Rico Fajardo as Leon Kennedy. Leon Kennedy vs. Frank West.
Give it up, man. You can't keep up with me.
Want to bet? I've covered wars, you know.
That's nice, but I fought them.
And the award for Best Performance goes to Christopher Guerrero as Carnage.
This is Carnage vs. Lucy's third award of the evening, having previously won Most Original Matchup and Most Surprising Outcome. Well done to Christopher Guerrero, and congratulations on winning Best Performance. And now, it's time to hand out the final award of the evening. After Season 5 was finished, it was regarded by some as the best season in Death Battle's history. Even now, as the show prepares to celebrate its 10th anniversary, Season 5 is still regarded by quite a few people as the best, and its episodes being some of the most illustrious that have been done. With so many good episodes this season, having to narrow it down to just 10 was difficult. In fact, we here at the Death Battle Awards forgot an episode, and we're even considering putting every episode from Season 5 on here. But even if we did that, we would still have the difficult decision of narrowing it down to one nominee to win. And thanks to your votes, we now know who will win this prestigious award. Here are the nominees for Best Overall Episode.
The early 1990s played host to one of the biggest battlegrounds the world had ever seen, the Console Wars.
Nintendo and Sega's mascots were locked in a merciless duel over the gaming throne.
But when the smoke cleared, a surprise third challenger was rising to the top.
The Sony PlayStation. And it didn't have just one mascot, it had two.
Crash Bandicoot, the mutated marsupial from Down Under.
And Spyro the Dragon, the powerful purple hero of the Dragon Realm.
Humans fear what they don't understand, especially when it comes to the infinite potential of artificial intelligence.
Like Ultron, Marvel's mechanical mass murderer.
And Sigma, the general of genocide from Mega Man X. The art of magic is a perplexing thing. Only those with the right knowledge, talent, and willpower can truly claim to be the most powerful wizards of all.
Like Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme of Marvel Comics.
And Dr. Fate, DC's defender of cosmic order. Power. Some spend entire lives in search of it, while for others, it is their birthright. But what truly matters in the end is how it's used.
Like with Thanos, the ultimate villain of the Avengers.
And Darkseid, arch nemesis to the Justice League. Surviving the undead apocalypse takes grit, perseverance, and an army's worth of firepower. With all that and some luck, these two became experts in zombie fighting.
Leon Kennedy, the top cop and government agent in Resident Evil.
And Frank West, the backyard wrestling MacGyver of Dead Rising. In a world where superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
But these guys have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege of Batman.
And Daredevil, Marvel's man without fear.
The finest warriors are never developed on their own. While some are simply molded by their enemies, the best usually seek the wisdom of a master.
Who, for some reason, is a weird old pervert, like Roshi, turtle hermit and teacher to Dragon Ball's greatest hero.
And Jiraiya, the Toad Sage and instructor to the most famous ninja of all. Their rivalry is legendary, their fame unmatched. This battle has gone on for nearly 3 decades, but today it finally comes to an end.
Mario, Nintendo's whimsical Italian turtle crusher.
And Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega's specialist of speed. Among the soldiers of history, the samurai is one of the most prestigious and dangerous.
So let's pit 2 of the best of them in a fight to the death.
Samurai Jack, the warrior prince lost in time.
And Afro Samurai, who's one cold-blooded mother effer.
Across this vast world of different nations with different people, it is the clash of opinions which truly divides us. However, there is one universal truth, which absolutely everyone can agree on.
Giant robots are freaking awesome! Like Optimus Prime, the original G1 Transformer.
And the RX-78-2, the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
If my ex-wives have taught me anything, it's that there's no real limit to crazy.
Like Carnage, Marvel's dangerously insane psychopath.
Or Lucy, the messed up murder lady from Elfenlied.
Elfenlied. It's German.
Yeah, whatever.
And the award for Best Overall Episode goes to Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. This is Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai's 4th award of the evening, having previously won Best Characterization, Most Brutal Death, and Best Death. And that's our show for the evening. Thank you all once again for being patient and for getting me to 750 subscribers. Apologies for having taken so long to get this one done. and we'll hopefully get the Season 6 awards done for February. Plus, look out for the Season 7 rankings list coming later this month. Until then, good night, everybody!